All right. Welcome, everyone, this evening, and I want to give a great happy Father's Day to all the fathers that are out there today. And my name is Andrea Prino. I'm calling in from sunny Arizona, and I'm here to welcome you to our Networking Wisdom Keep It Pro call. If you don't know, if this is your first time, this call is every Sunday. It's at 4 o'clock Pacific time, and it's for all network marketing and direct sales people. So I'm just super excited that you're here with us all today. I promise you, you are in the right place. But I want to get out of the way of greatness here this evening. I have the honor and privilege of introducing you to a man that I truly have the utmost respect for. His name's Romacio Fulcher. Some of you, I'm sure, know him, but maybe some of you don't. So if you don't know Romacio, I'm here to let you know that he is an incredibly humble man, comes from humble beginnings, and it was literally just a little over a year ago that Romacio was living paycheck to paycheck. He has literally just blazed a trail in this past year in his current company, creating a team of over 50,000 people, starting over, literally started from scratch, and earned over $2 million in commissions in his first year. He became the fastest president millionaire and fastest double president millionaire in his company right now. And right now, Romacio's organization generates between $2 and $2.5 million in sales on a weekly basis. And if that's not enough, out of 110 million people in this network marketing profession, Romacio is currently the number 16 income earner in the world. But I got to tell you, what I love most about this man is he has a huge heart for people. Romacio will literally give you the shirt off his back to help you, and he continues to pour into all of us and help us achieve our goals and dreams with these calls. And finally, he's an absolute blast to be around. He loves to have a great time. So it is with my great pleasure to introduce you to my friend, my mentor, and coach, Romacio Fulcher. Romacio, are you there?
Absolutely, I'm here. Thank you so much, Drea. Can you hear me?
I can, loud and clear.
Well, thank you so much for stepping up on this beautiful Father's Day and being our host. We really, really appreciate you for doing it. Give my best to your husband, Michael. And to all of you guys that are here with us, I want to go ahead and say happy Father's Day to all the fathers that are out there. I once heard a little boy say, "It's easy to make a baby, but it takes work to be a daddy." So I want to give it up to all the fathers out there all across the world. You are just as important. Mama couldn't do it by herself. She needed just a little bit of help. But anyway, guys, hey, listen, we got a special message here for you today. I'm coming hot. I'm coming heavy. I'm coming heart to heart. So go ahead and grab your pen, and I'm going to start. Listen, the theme of today's call, well, first of all, for all of you that are here, I don't know if you're here for the first time or you're coming back to get some more. But I want to let you know we do this call every single Sunday. It's absolutely free. This call is open to anyone, anywhere in the world that's in direct sales or network marketing. I repeat, this is absolutely a free call, no strings attached. There are two things that we accomplish on this call. Number one, we teach you the specific skills you need to get to the top of your specific company. How about that? We teach you the specific skills you need to help you get to the top of your chosen company. Number two, we also teach you life skills. You'll find on this network marketing journey how interesting is it that life skills go hand in hand with the very specific skills you need to thrive in your company. So again, we do all of this for free. The call is always recorded, and it's always uploaded to the server for you to download and re-listen as much as you want. Again, it's absolutely free on this call every single Sunday right here, same number, same time. I've been doing it now almost 3 years. I encourage you to spread the word that somebody loves you, and it ain't just God. It's this little old boy named Romacio Fulcher, the California kid, also got some love for you. And I don't care what they said about you. Some people may say you're going to make it. Some people say that you're not. I promise you, if you listen to me, if you listen to me week in and week out and you believe what we're talking about, I promise you, you're going to smack them all right in the mouth and show the world what an amazing human being that you are. So listen. Go ahead and spread the word. Get people here with us on this call. I never know who's here. I don't know if it's 100 people or if it's one person. All I know is I was given the assignment to spread the good news, and I'm doing my job. And if I do my job and you do your job, I promise you we all will be okay. So today's theme, guys, today's theme is I want to talk to you about the journey. And on this journey that you're on, I'm talking about going through network marketing or direct sales. It is a journey. And I've created a theme for this particular call, and that is I need every single step, because every step counts. And I'm going to really do my best today to go ahead and break down what that means. Once again, if there was a theme of the call, it is I need every single step, because every single step counts. And, you know, listen, I'm always reminded by some of the things I've read, some of the things I've learned, but there's a statement that I'm always reminded of, and that is, don't let your highs be too high, and don't let your lows be too low. I think as we get ready to dive into where I'm going to take you on this call today, I think that's really the narrative that I want you to kind of pick up. Don't let your highs be too high, and don't let your lows be too low. And let's kind of go ahead and dive into this so that you can really get some understanding of what we're talking about today. This is truly a journey, ladies and gentlemen. It is a journey. Becoming an entrepreneur, developing yourself, learning the necessary skills, and being able to execute a plan is no easy task at all. Let me repeat myself. I said developing yourself, number one. Number two, learning the necessary skills. And then number three, executing the game plan is no easy task. It's not easy to do that. You see, most people in the world we live in today, they have an employee mindset. I've had a job or two before, and I'm not putting down people that have had a job. Hell, I tell people, at least if you have a job, thank God you got a job at least, right? I think everything in your life has its purpose, including your job. And so most people have a job mentality. And a job mentality is very simple. Here's what it says. Tell me, Mr. Employer, what do I have to do? And I'm going to do my job, and I'm going to expect my pay. A job mentality, it's really simple. Just let me know what I have to do. I come in, I do it, you pay me, I go home, boom, we go our separate ways, and we do it again tomorrow. That's a job mentality. I heard somebody tell me once upon a time, it's kind of like if you pretend to work, we'll pretend to pay you, is the job. That's the job market, right? Now, my point in bringing this up is that's vastly different than you now having your own home-based business. Don't misunderstand the fact that it's home-based, but it still is business. Don't misunderstand that just because it's done from home that it's not a real business. Don't be delusional to believe that just because I don't walk into a huge skyscraper building with the secretary out front and soft music playing in the background that this is no real business. No, it is a real business. That's why it's called a home-based business. Now, a part of this business, you have to understand, it was a great philosopher of mine, a great philosopher friend of mine. Let me see what his name was. His name was, let me see if I can remember his name. Sean Carter. They call him Jay-Z. That's right. He's a great philosopher. If you never heard of Jay-Z, look him up. Jay-Z. That's J with a capital Z. I once heard Sean Carter, Jay-Z, say, he said, I am the business. He said, I'm a businessman, and I am the business. And it's really, really ironic because in network marketing, this happens to be the case. You are the business. So when we say it's a home-based business, what we're talking about, you get a chance to work from home, but everything about your business, whether it will be impotent or it will flourish, is all predicated upon you, which leads me back to what I just said. Number one, becoming an entrepreneur and developing yourself is not easy. It's not easy, number one. But then after you or while you're developing yourself, at the same time, you got to learn the skills. You got to learn the skills necessary to execute the game plan. So it's not easy. And so I want to salute you just for being here. And I want to let you know that on this journey, you're going to uncover a lot of emotions. A lot of emotions. As I said moments ago, don't let your highs be too high and don't let your lows be too low. You see, let me kind of give you another analogy. When you think of summer, which is the season, I'm in California, that's where we're at now. We're in our summer seasons. There's 4 seasons: summer, winter, spring, and fall. Now, here's what's interesting about these 4 seasons that were already created long before we got here, is that, you see, as much as we love summertime, for those of us that love it, it don't last forever. As much as we love the springtime, that's my favorite season, by the way, it don't last forever. As much as we love the fall, I do like the fall because that's when I get a chance to really flex my muscles on my dressing. That's when I get to that's when the men that like to dress, we get to really put on, to really strut our stuff and show our stuff in the fall season. That's when we get to pull out all those nice clothes we got. But even though if you like the fall, guess what? It don't last forever. And then guess what? You have the winter. Now, very few people I know like the winter. But even if you don't like it, guess what? It don't last forever. Again, my point is clear. Don't let your highs be too high, and don't let your lows be too low. Once upon a time, I heard it said this way: if it wasn't for winter, I would never appreciate summer. If it wasn't for fall, I would never appreciate the spring. I say to you once again, I need every single step, for every single step counts. My point to you is that as you're going on your journey, you're going to uncover a lot of emotions. You're going to have many, many lows. You're going to have highs. You're going to go up and down, up and down, up and down. This is true. And no matter how much I love and care for you, and maybe you're inspired by me or whatever, I can't rescue you from the process that you must endure. Let me say that again. For all of you taking your notes, I hope you wrote this down. I said no matter how much mama, daddy, grandma, grandpa, your mentors, all these people, no matter how much they love you and tell you, you're so beautiful, you're so awesome, and wow, you've got a bright future ahead of you, and wow, you're going to set the world on fire. No matter how much we say that stuff to you, none of us can rescue you from the process that you must go through. And only you and you alone can go through the process. Once again, I repeat, I need every single step, for every single step counts. And so as you're on this journey, I want just to let you know that, listen, what do you do when times are bad? What do you do when times get weary? What do I do when it gets really, really tough? Well, let me take you back to the seasons of life. Let's say we're in the wintertime, and let's go to some of the coldest places that I'm aware of. And I'm sure there's some other places that you might be able to find colder than this. But when I think of my Canadian friends, woo! I don't want to say any names right now, but I can think of a business associate of mine. She's from Canada, up there in Toronto, and some of the outskirts of Toronto, where it gets really, really freezing cold, -10 and -20, -30, below zero. And I'm sure there's other places. Get the point of what I'm saying, guys. What do they do when it gets so freezing cold that it's almost like, man, I just don't even want to live no more. It's too cold. It's just too cold. I can't feel my toes. I can't feel my knees, my nose. I can't feel nothing. What do I do? It's just so cold. And remember, I told you the season will not last forever. But even though you know it's not going to last forever, guys, sometimes it does feel like it's forever. Sometimes when that rain gets to pouring and that snow gets to blowing, it just seems like it's never going to stop. And the question is, what do you do when it gets real, real, real tough? And I'm going to give you some insight here today of what I do, and maybe this can encourage you. Because as I told you, I can't rescue you. You can't rescue me. The best I can do for you is inspire you and pray for you. That's the best I can do for you. I can't fight your fight, and you can't fight mine. But I can inspire you, and I can pray for you. So let me give you some insight upon what do you do when it gets really, really tough. Well, Let me just be honest with you. Absolutely. Sometimes you need to cry. Sometimes you need to let your tears water your dreams. You need to cry. Sometimes you need to scream. Sometimes you need to punch a hole in the wall safely. Sometimes you do need to let those emotions out, and I'm not going to lie to you. I know that they always say take the high road in life, but I only know one person, and one person only, that's always taken the high road in the journey of life. I only know one guy that's ever pulled that off successfully every single time. So I'm not going to lie to you. Sometimes you need to cry, kick, and scream, and as my mom would say, set your timer for 30 minutes or maybe even an hour and just have yourself a pity party. I wish this rain would stop. When is this snow going to let up? I don't know how people can live in this. This is ridiculous. I just can't stand it. I can't stand this season of life. It seems like everywhere I turn, I can't get a victory. Absolutely. Have yourself a good old-fashioned pity party. Now, my mom told me to do it for about 30 minutes to an hour. Well, I didn't follow those instructions. I'm not going to lie to you. There's times in my life where I did it for a whole month. Pity party for 30 days straight. I don't recommend it, but I ain't going to lie to you. I did it. I did it. And I'm letting you know the first thing is you've got to acknowledge what's going on. I'm not one of these coaches that's going to tell you to go to your garden and say that there's no weeds when you and I both are looking at a 10-foot-tall weed right there in the backyard. So I don't believe in that crap. So the first thing you got to do is you have to acknowledge what season are you in. Ooh, that's profound. I hope you write that down. You got to be real with yourself. And when it's raining outside, hey, baby, it's raining right now. It's the season we in. That's where we at right now. It's tough. And sometimes life is going to be hard. And when it gets hard, guess what? You got to learn to do it hard. And I'm just telling you, first thing is you acknowledge what season you're in and you let those emotions out, whatever they are. You know, sadness, anger, whatever, let it out. You got to get it out. It's better out than in. Write that down. It's better out than in. So find what outlet is going to, what outlet do you have to scream, shout, kick, and scream, whatever you need to get out that you do not like this season you're in. That's the first thing I recommend. The second thing I recommend, now that you done kicked and screamed, hollered, and you done did all of that stuff, and you still see that after your kicking, your screaming, your crying, after all that you done said, the snow continues to pile on. It's still cold outside. The season has not changed, even though you done been angry, kicking and screaming and all that. You still in the winter season. What do you do after you're done screaming? And ladies and gentlemen, I hope you will take this 100% whole. Write this down. This applies to every man, every boy, every girl on today's call. It is humanly impossible. It is humanly impossible for any human being to consistently perform inconsistently with the way you truly see yourself. I want to say that again to you. I said it is humanly impossible for any human being to consistently perform inconsistently with the way you truly see yourself. I want to say that one more time. It's a mouthful. It is humanly impossible for any human being to consistently perform inconsistently with the way that you truly see yourself. So, number two here, what do you do after you've been kicking and screaming and you let all that stuff out? You've got to go back to how you truly see yourself, baby, in the winter, in the spring, in the summer, and the fall. Let me say it again. The question at stake, who are you in the winter seasons of life, in the fall seasons of life, in the spring seasons of life, and in the summer? Somebody told me you don't know a person's character until you see them go through a difficult season in life. Somebody told me you don't know a person's character until you see them in their down seasons of life, not just their up seasons of life. So number 2 is, who are you in the various different seasons of life? I just told you it's humanly impossible for any of us to consistently perform inconsistently with the way that you see yourself. So what you have to do when you are really, really going through a tough season, you have to remind yourself of who you are, where you are going. You have to. You have to remind yourself. Now, how do I remind myself? Well, the most important talk in the entire world is self-talk. My question to all of you is, when you're going through the storm and the rain, what are you saying to yourself? Seriously, if it's true that the most important talk of our life is self-talk, my question to you is, what are you telling yourself? In the winter seasons of life, again, I need every single step, for every single step counts. What are you telling yourself? So this is one way to remind yourself of who you are. Because you see, as you walk through this journey of life, we all are being tested. And you see, let me say it again. I hope you heard and felt me. I said, as you walk through this journey of life, we all are being tested. Now remember, what is a test? A test is to prepare you for the next level of elevation. But on the test, you don't know what's going to be on the test. You've tried to prepare yourself as best you could, but in your greatest attempt to prepare for this stormy season this winter, you were taken by surprise. It was far worse than what you ever thought it was going to be. It was far worse than what you ever thought it was going to be. So number 1, I say, let the emotion out. Number 2, I say, remind yourself of who you are and where you are going. Let me give you some other ways to remind yourself of who you are. Surround yourself with affirmation words that truly you believe in. No hocus pocus stuff, but stuff that means something to you. Every time you say it, it just makes the hair stand up on your arm. Every time you say that word, you just feel some extra boost inside your body. Okay? Pick some words that mean something to you. Words are powerful. Whoever told you that words only sticks and stones can break my bones, but words don't hurt me was a lie. Words are important. Words are seeds that lead to feelings. Okay? So your words are important. I want you to choose some affirming words. Affirming. And begin to say them all the time. It's one way you can remind yourself who you are. Another way, continue to let your mind meditate on things that are lovely, things that are joyful, things that are pleasant, things that are where you one day will be. In other words, while you're going through a nasty, nasty divorce, if marriage is something that you desire and you love, concentrate, set your mind on what it's like to be in a beautiful relationship while you are playing your role. Study what it takes of those that have come before you to be able to attract and attain such type of relationship. Once again, what did I say? It is humanly impossible for any human being to consistently perform inconsistently with the way that you see yourself. That simply means you're going to make some mistakes in life. We all do. But it's humanly impossible for you to consistently keep performing inconsistent with the way you really see yourself. I didn't say the way your mama sees you. I said the way you really feel about yourself. You can't consistently, time after time after time after time after time after time, perform inconsistent with the way you see yourself. It's a violation against yourself. You can't do it. No one can. So the real issue is, when you're going through the winter of life, how do you see yourself? What tools are you using to remind yourself of how amazing you are and how this too is a test and it shall pass? What are you saying to yourself? Number one. Number two, what are you listening to? What are you listening to? Number three, what are you looking at? I believe you should always have hundreds and hundreds of pictures of examples of what you one day soon will be. I heard somebody say what you tune into is exactly what you turn into. This is some things that you can do. I also believe when you're going through the seasons of life, a tough season, I believe you need to be grateful for the snow. You see, there's somebody up above that, I call him God. I don't know what you call him. But there's somebody up above that in his infinite wisdom, he knows the necessary need for the winter season. See, I don't like winter. If it was up to me, leave me in spring, fall, and summer. I'd be just fine. But there's somebody smarter than me, somebody wiser than me, somebody more all-knowing than me that says, hey, I am that I am. I have created this season for a particular reason, and I don't owe you an explanation. And so I'm saying to you, one of the other things you can do when going through a tough time in life is learn to be grateful. It's not easy, but it's necessary to be grateful for what's happening to you. Even if it's self-induced. You see, there's a book that I like to read it. I haven't read it cover to cover yet. But from time to time, I like to go in there and study some of the chapters to learn some things about myself. Because sometimes I'm my own worst critic. And I think sometimes we all beat ourselves up more than really what we should. So sometimes I need a place of reference to save me from my own demise. And I go to this book, it's called Basic Instructions Before Leaving Earth, better known as the Bible. And I'll crack it open. And one of the little scriptures that really spoke to my soul one day, can't remember the exact scripture, but I remember it saying that I, the Lord, create good and evil. What? It said, I, the Lord, create good and evil. Wait a minute. You created the bad and the evil? Yes, I did. And he created it for a purpose. For a purpose. And see, when I understood that if you were the creator of the bad and the good, and then I kept reading, and I also learned from another scripture further down in the book, it said that all things work together for the good to those that love the Lord. In other words, even though this season you're going through, you may not understand. You may not like it. But if you will be grateful while going through it, as my mother once said, the way that you wait is going to determine how long you're going to have to wait. Let me say it again. The way that you wait is going to determine how long you will have to wait. Now, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, please tell me you're following along this journey here today, because this has a lot to do with your network marketing success. This has a lot to do with the whole prayer and dream that you're waiting on for your $20, $30, $40, $50, $100,000, $200,000 a month income. Yes, it does. To be able to achieve such success, you too, my friend, are going to have to go through the seasons of life. Ooh, look at you now. I'm making $20,000 a month. I'm rolling like a, you just rolling. I understand. You having a good old time, enjoying yourself, and you should. my advice to you would be don't let your highs be too high and don't let your lows be too low. Watch out for the pothole just around the corner. For the people that are going through the winter seasons of life, oh, will it ever stop? Will the rain ever stop? Remember what I said. Every season has its purpose. When you begin to align yourself with the purpose for this chosen season of life, this is where you can gain significant power, understanding, and you can begin to thrive in the rain. Let me say it again real nice and slow. I said when you can learn to align yourself with the season you're in. I didn't say the season your neighbor's in. I said your season. When you can align, what do you mean align? That I just told you. Aligning means, number one, let the emotion out. If you're mad, be mad for a minute. Be sad, cry, do whatever you got to do. But after that's done, you've now noticing this season's not changing unless I change. Okay? So if the season and how long the season is going to last is predicated on you, then it makes sense to me I need to remind myself that despite there may be no food in the refrigerator, despite nobody may be on my team, despite the leaders may be throwing darts at my back, despite the company may be going through this or that, despite, this is who I am. This is who I am, and this is where your affirmations come for. This is where I'm going. I know what it may look like, but I'm building something around here. And I know you can't see it fully yet, but I know it's going to come to pass because I just won't stop until it gets built. So you got to remind yourself of who you are and where you're going. And after you remind yourself, you know, there's a good old saying, they say a picture is worth 1,000 words. I told you you should gather some pictures where you can see people that once upon a time were in the season that you're going through now. You can study people that once upon a time were just like you. For the book that I read, it clearly says nothing is new that's under the sun. That means stop being selfish. You ain't the only one going through a divorce. You ain't the only one had somebody cheat on you. You ain't the only one that had a team that left you. You ain't the only one. Pick yourself up and remind yourself of who you are and where you're going. You ain't the only one. Study those that have come before you, that have left a trail of blood, sweat, and tears, of here's the advice that we recommend for you to make your pathway a little bit easier than ours was. Look for those channels of people that can advise you and remind you this is what you should do while you're going through the winter season of life. Again, I say, number one, let the emotion out. Number two, go ahead and remind yourself of who you are, where you're going. Number three, surround yourself with pictures, lots and lots and lots and lots of pictures to remind yourself, this is what I'm building. This is where I'm going for. This is what I'm believing for. This is what I'm fighting for. So we're talking about what do you do after you're done kicking and screaming in the winter seasons of life. And see, lastly, I said to you, when you can align yourself with this season, and alignment, you can't tell me you're aligned if you're not grateful for the pain. Woo-wee! That was a bomb. You can't tell me you are aligned with your season if you're not grateful for the pain. Now, let me break this down, boys and girls. Let's first of all talk about if it's pain that you self-induced or you created and brought on yourself. Be grateful for that because there's a message that the man upstairs is trying to teach you. He uses pain. See, pain serves a purpose. Pain is a process that serves a purpose. Ooh, get that, write that. Put that down. Pain is a process that serves a purpose. And when you learn to align yourself with the pain, you then can finally gather the message. You can finally get the message. Okay? So this is if you've been the one to self-induce the pain upon yourself, there's a message there for you, just for you, to learn. You can't learn it until you begin to say thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Even though I may have messed up. Even though I did that and I did that and I did that and I did that. But guess what? You still let me live to see another day. I'm still alive. So as long as I'm breathing, I've got a chance to create a new start. I've got a chance to gain new perspective about my life. I've got a chance to learn. Let's talk about those that, what if it's pain that you did not self-induce? What if it's someone did something to you and put you in this situation? Ooh, this is good. This is good. Again, I say to you, in order for you to gain power, you cannot let bitterness and resentment set in and make you turn into evil. You can't do that. What you must do is you too must be grateful for the pain that has been dropped upon you. There is a message there for you. I can't tell you what the message is, but I can tell you after you're done crying, kicking and screaming, you've got to learn to align yourself with the season that you are in. And part of that alignment is you have to make sure that you remain extremely grateful for wherever you find yourself, because there is a message just for you. In other words, let's put it this way. Everybody wants the testimony, but nobody wants to go through the test. Everybody wants the baby, but nobody wants the labor pains. And I'm telling you, you can't have one without the other. So, when you learn to look at your life through the lens that I'm laying out for you today, you gain a greater sense of understanding of the trials and tribulations, the ups, the downs, the seasons. You're now able to understand more about what's going on. Now, let's move ahead. I want to talk to you now. Are there some things that you can do that will give you a longer summertime or a longer spring season than winter? Yes, it is. Yes, it is. And you see, this part that I'm about to talk about is very special to me, because this part right here now brings in the element of choice. And I believe that God's greatest gift, this is my personal opinion, I believe the gift of time is one of his greatest gifts. And the second gift, in my opinion, is the gift of choice, the element to choose. Because based upon your choices, I heard somebody say you are born looking like your mama and your daddy, but you die looking like your choices. You born looking like your mama and your daddy, but you die looking like your choices. And so this is where the element of choice really begins to be clear to me, that you're saying to me that if I choose to adopt good habits, write that down. Write that down, Kylan. Write that down, KJ. If I choose to adopt good habits in my life. Now let's break down habits. Habits such as, let's talk about hygiene. How about flossing your teeth every day? If you don't floss your teeth every day, what you don't honor, it will leave you. What you don't honor will leave you. If you don't honor your teeth, they will leave you. So again, the habit of flossing your teeth is a habit that will prolong the length of how long you'll have your teeth. That's a habit. That's just one of many habits. We're talking about hygiene. You know, we can talk about fitness, eating, dieting. You guys get the point. Habits. But as it relates to building your business, the two most important habits you could ever have in building a network marketing business, these habits that I'm about to lay on the table for you today, doesn't matter if you're in the winter, spring, summer, or fall season. These habits they don't change. These are the two most important habits if you're going to build a business. Number one is continuous prospecting and recruiting. Prospecting and recruiting, number one. And then number two is presenting. Those two daily habits that if you choose, notice what I said. Watch my words. If you choose to embrace those habits, you will lengthen your summertime, your springtime. It will be much longer for you because you are operating under principles that are going to set you apart from others that don't choose those choices. Now, with saying this, does this mean that just because you prospect and present, in this example, that you won't have any winter seasons? That's not true at all. You will. You too want to be strong, and you too are going to have to go through a fight. But the difference is, as I said, Mama told me, she said, boy, the way that you wait is going to determine how long you have to wait. So if you are consistently prospecting and presenting, that means even though the business may not be what you want it to be today, you're not going to stop acting as if it's going to be the way you intended it to be tomorrow. You see, some people say, well, I ain't going to do nothing until I see something. You know, they have that type of mindset. And my reply is, you ain't going to see nothing until you consistently do something. Well, if that's the way it's going to be, Romacio, I just ain't going to do it. Then I guess you just choose not to do it. That's fine. It's your life. But these are principles, boys and girls. This is not Romacio's words. These are simple, old-fashioned principles that will never change. It's like the law of gravity. Whether you agree or not, it works. Okay? So, again, I say to you, I need every single step. For every single step counts. Don't ever wish to be somewhere else than where you currently are. Let me say this again. Don't ever wish to be somewhere else other than where you currently are. I heard somebody tell me, the past is over. The future is a mystery. The only thing that matters right now is the present. Don't ever wish to be somewhere else than where you currently are. If you're in the winter seasons of life, I want to encourage you. Get the emotion out of how you feel, because, you know, it's a real emotion. You got to get it out, baby. Get it out. Got to. And after that, number 2, go to phase 2 if you're in the winter season. Okay, remind yourself of, who am I? Who am I? Oh, yes. The most important talk in the world is the one that you're having with yourself. Who am I? Where am I going? Okay, I keep saying that. Now get some pictures. You got some pictures? Where are your pictures at? To remind yourself of what it's going to look like. To remind yourself of what you're fighting for. To remind yourself of what you're believing for. To remind yourself that you're different than an employee. You're different. It takes much more to be an entrepreneur. Somebody's got to do the believing for the whole damn team. That's the entrepreneur. Somebody's got to do the believing for the whole damn team. That's the entrepreneur. They go through a totally different fight. They go through a totally different fight than the employee goes through. The employee gets to have all the comfort and the consistency and the safety of a job. Meanwhile, the entrepreneur is the one that fights and grits and grinds to keep the lights on, to keep the job for the employee. I'm teaching you how to do it right now. Don't mistake the fact that we're on a phone call, that what I'm laying down ain't solid, as they say, 100% oak wood. This is the finest oak wood right here. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm telling you, if this is where you're at, remind yourself of who you are, where you're going. Number 3, after you're done doing that, like I said, get your pictures. Number 4, after you're done doing that, make sure you're aligned with your season. Make sure after you're done crying, kicking, cussing, and, all that stuff, make sure you end it all off with, you know what, I want to say thank you. Because you know what, whether it was me, whether it was self-induced or not, this is where I'm at. There is a message here for me. I have the power within me, somewhere deep down in there, to change my situation. I don't necessarily know how to change it, but I got to know that I'm fighting for the change. I don't necessarily know how to change it. What does that mean, boys and girls? Well, it's hard for you to outthink yourself out of a situation that you thought yourself into. So I don't necessarily know how to change it, but I know I'm fighting for the change. I heard somebody say it this way. I don't necessarily know where I'm going exactly, but I know I'm not staying here no more. I know I'm not staying here no more. I really don't know exactly where I'm really going, but I just know I ain't staying here no more. Woo! Speak these words, people. Speak them to yourself. I'm telling you, it'll do your body good, for sure. And so when you do all of this, as Mama would put it, let's put a cap on this. I said it 4 times. I'll say it one more time. The way you wait is going to determine how long you wait. So when you now are waiting, but you're still acting as if it's going to arrive. You're still pursuing the thing. You're still prospecting. You're still presenting. You're still searching for that new company. You're still, aggressively looking, acting. You're acting as if it's going to happen. See, when you operate that way, you pass the test rather quickly. Listen, guys, and I hate to take you here, but I got to do it. God, we don't serve a static God. Meaning God is almighty. He's always on the move, 24/7, trolling the earth, top to bottom, east to west, north and south. He's on the move. And we all were created, whether you want to believe it or not, in his image. So we all have power within us. The problem is we don't know how to use the power that we've been given. But I could just keep it simple for you. If you would dare just to keep on moving, the power is going to move in you, through you, and towards you. Let me say it again. If you would dare to just keep on moving, the power is going to move in you, through you, and towards you. I promise you it will. The resources that you may not have at the moment to fix your situation, all of a sudden, will reveal themselves to you. Help will come to rescue you. And it'll come from people, places that you may never imagined. But because you continue to keep your mind's eye quietly focused on who you are and where you're going, as I said before, it is humanly impossible for any human being, which means you, to consistently perform inconsistent with the way you see yourself. So really, while you're in the winter season, spring season, summer or fall, the real question of the moment is, how do you truly see yourself? You see, I am a winner. I am a fighter. I am a lover. How do you see yourself? How do you see yourself? How? It doesn't matter how much money is in the account now. It doesn't matter how big the house and how many accolades you have. That doesn't matter right now. But what matters, how do you see yourself, is what we, the world, will eventually view of you. Let me say that again. The way you see yourself, that is the exact way that eventually we, the world, will see you. So I want to encourage you today, don't ever wish to be any other place than where you are right now. You are there for a reason. And until you learn and gather the lesson of why you're there, you're not ready to advance to the next grade. But once you've learned the lesson, prepared, and you're fully expecting the graduation date of the next grade, then and only then will it come to you. So I want to encourage you. Stop wanting things to be easier. Stop. You're wasting your energy. We all heard it said this way. It's not the load that breaks your back. It's the way that you're carrying the load that breaks your back. Stop wanting it to be easier and start wanting to get better. Start wanting to be more grateful. Stop asking, can I just shorten my steps? No, you need every single step. because every single step that you take, every single step has purpose. It has meaning. It has significant meaning. And you need every single step. I love the fact that God the Father, he said 1,000 years is all of 1 hour to him. So you see how we sometimes want to rush things. I know I'm guilty of that. Literally, it's the process of time that refines us, makes us better, makes us stronger, and prepares us for the thing that we ultimately desired. Ladies and gentlemen, I really hope for your sake you will take the time to revisit this call, listen over and over and over again on how we drew contrast and comparison between life seasons, summer, winter, spring, and fall, and the seasons of you building your business in network marketing. I started the call with this, and I'm going to end the call with this. I say to you once again, I need every single step, for every single step matters. Don't let your highs be too high, and don't let your lows be too low. Remember the 4 things I just gave you on what you do when you're going through. Remember that. Stay true to that. Take that with you into the summer. Take it with you in the spring. Take it with you in the fall. And surely you definitely need it in the winter. Ladies and gentlemen, I believe in you. Don't you ever think about quitting on the dream that was given to only you. I love each and every single one of you. I'm the California Kid, Romacio, and I'll see you guys next Sunday. Happy Father's Day to all of you. Bye-bye, everybody.